Hi guys, welcome to this newspaper layout style guide and tutorial. I'm so excited for this year and I hope this video is helpful for you. While you're watching, I'd recommend taking notes and filling out the worksheet. First, I'm going to start off by going through our most previous edition to help you guys understand some of the more stylistic details of the stripe. Then I'll go through in depth how to work with the software in part 2. Okay. Firstly, the header of this specific edition has some technical difficulties, as you can see, so I'll show you that part in the second part of this video. But you can see underneath we have the volume, RZJHS High School, and the edition. Stylistically, we always keep this the same font, size, and spacing. It's really important to keep track of the difference between size and spacing, which can be seen over here. This is the size, and this is the spacing. From one side to the other, notice what things are in all caps, what's not, what are numbers, and what are Roman numerals. Also, if you take a look over here, you can see the font, which is Cinzel, and that it's in regular, meaning that it's not in bold or italics. Moving down to the actual content of the paper, take a look at the fonts and sizing and spacing once again. Mostly all these things stay consistent throughout all the editions. Such as the actual articles. So if I click on the text box over here, you can see that the articles are all aligned within the columns, which are, if you look really closely at these blue lines right here. And when I show you how to set up the actual paper in part 2, I'll show you how to make sure that the article is within that column. Also, take note of how it is Times New Roman, regular, 9-point sizing, and 10-point spacing, which never changes, as I mentioned previously. As we move to the titles and names, also take note. Stylistically, the headline must cover the physical width of the piece. For instance, Ariel's piece over here on the Israel bombings is the width of the column. This is only one column, so the title covers the entire column mostly, I guess, except for over here. While this one, Maytal's article, it takes up 2 columns, see? And this one is the width of an entire column, or of 2 entire columns, excuse me. Notice how there's a little bit of diversity here when it comes to the style and to the title and the article. The titles, for instance, are always in here, I'll click on it. They're always in Times New Roman, but they vary in capitalization, style, spacing, and sizing in order to accommodate the width of that article. So here, this one is really large. It's in 45 and 28 spacing, but it's in bold italics and all caps. This one's only 30 and 22, but just bold. This one doesn't have any style. It's just all caps. Let's see. I don't know. They're all a little different. This one is no caps. That's up to you. That's for you to decide how to fit in all of them. Moving on down to the author's name. Just some more specific details, as you can see over here. This always stays consistent in all caps. DIN condensed here. You can see this over here. Bold, 11-point size, and 13.2 spacing. And it is followed by a line, which, like the title, is the exact same width as the article. So this one, once again, is only 1 column, while this one is 2 columns. As for other lines, we use them to fully separate the articles both vertically, as you can see here. So if you pull in really close, you can see that this line was added in and it separates these two articles vertically, while down here there's two articles stacked on top of each other that are both the same width. And we added in another line right here. Continuing on, pictures. In my opinion, this is the most challenging part of our position. It's really important to insist that each contributor submits at least one picture with their article, as you never know which article and page will have more space once you're done putting all the articles in. Oh, on another note, in my opinion, it's easiest to make sure all the articles are on the paper first before you add in all the pictures, and something like this, like an ad, because you won't necessarily need all the pictures. So don't go, or like at least do like a page and then put in the pictures, but like it's kind of complicated if you try to like put in the pictures and then the articles. Like definitely put in the articles first, and then that will help you decide like what needs a picture and what doesn't. Okay, moving on. Okay, that's also important to make sure that each page has at least two or three non-article items. Most of these will obviously be pictures, but there's also some like space for ads and games. So like on this page, we've got like 2 pictures that are really nice and big. This one's got 3 pictures. Down here, there's also like just a game and one article, which just like makes it a little bit more interesting to look at. So that's really important. Okay, and also while we're on the topic of pictures, let's take a look at the captions. So this is kind of weird because the first line of the caption is a different font than the second line of the caption. So the first line is like who the photo is from. So like this says photo courtesy of Rochelle's RZJHS High School. This one says photo courtesy of Sean Dreyfus. And that is DIN condensed, bold, 7-point sizing, and 8.4 spacing. While the second line is the same numbers, but in regular Avenir next condensed. I'm not really sure why we did that, but that's just how it is. Okay. Zooming out, let's take a look at the order of the articles in the newspaper. So we always start off with news because it's usually the most interesting to have us on the cover page. This one I thought was one of our better cover pages because the stories were really hot off the press, I guess. And then we usually do op-ed, culture, then sports last. And also don't worry if you're not going to fit all the like articles from one section onto one page, so you can just do what I did in this one and add in a little slash action and just split up the pages. That's fine. Just make sure you let the reader know. And for these little section headers, for all the other pages except for the first one, we put it at the top. The first one's on the bottom, as you can see. And they're all in all caps, bold, Times New Roman, 30 size, and 22 spacing. And yeah, so stylistically, that's pretty much everything you need to know. In part 2 of this video, I'm going to show you how to like actually use the software like over here and all this stuff. I know this was probably really overwhelming, but I believe in you guys. Maybe go back, take some notes, fill out the worksheet, do whatever you need to do, and come back for part 2. Thanks for watching.